Nikki Guyett to walk 100 kilometers. To walk 100 kilometers, Nikki Guyett.
Let's see a show of hands to those of you who support a cause or a charity. Wow, I wasn't expecting that. What great Toastmasters we are. Me? Who do I support? Well, I put money on my grocery bill, for the lunch program or for the children's hospital. But a little over 2.5 years ago, my sister-in-law approached me and asked if I would like to join her on a 10-kilometer training walk. I thought, wow, you know what? I'm starting an exercise regime, and this is intriguing. I'm going to do it. Little did I know what it was going to get me into. The 100-kilometer kidney march. Anyone heard of it? All right. Now, we all arrived on time for this training walk, and there was about 6 marchers in all wearing red and white. And the biggest smiles on their faces. Clearly, they were happy to be there for this 10-kilometer stroll. The group was primarily women, so you can imagine how long it took for us to get started. But by the end, I was motivated and excited because they were telling me stories about why they were walking. They were walking for their loved ones. They were walking for their best friends. And some were even walking for the children in Children's Hospital. Needless to say, I was inspired because I knew I could do the same thing for my sister-in-law and niece, both of which who suffer from kidney disease, polycystic kidney disease. Now, when you tell someone, I'm going to walk 100 kilometers in 3 days, their faces pretty much tell you just how crazy you are. Little did I know just how crazy it was. I was one of those March virgins that think, it's just walking. I'm going to put one foot in front of the other, and I'm going to make it to the end of the day, no problem. Piece of cake. So I trained 10, 15, 20-kilometer training walks all summer long to get my feet ready for the onslaught they were going to be going through in September. And I even got my fundraising goal of $2,200 in 6 weeks. Thanks to my support from my friends and family. That made me that much more determined to walk the entire 100 kilometers. Let's jump to day 0. Orientation event. All right. It was more like a pep rally, though. We got our badges and our lanyards, our schedules for the weekend, and they got us hopped up on fun and joy, which I understand now why they do that. Those organizers are sneaky people. But they sent us home that night for get some rest because we had to be back at the hotel for 6 o'clock in the morning to catch our buses. Day 1. Everybody arrives, big smiles on their faces, eager to get the day started. And they hopped us all on 100 marches in total on 3 yellow school buses down to Millerville Racetrack so we can start the day. How fitting. They got down there and we had to do some more pep rally stuff. Opening ceremony, exercises so that we can stretch and get ready. And then we started. So, I managed the first 15 kilometers, no problem. Little effort. It was awesome. They had these stations set up every 3 to 3.5 kilometers with all the essentials. They had vans driving by, honking their horns. They're all in costumes, cheering us on. It was awesome. Motivational. It was the best experience ever. But then after lunch, we got to our first hill. That thing pretty much promptly stomped out the pep in my step. I got to the top heaving, exhausted, and the crew members up there were all congratulating us, but not because we made up the hill, it's because we made the halfway point for the day. Mistake number 1. I forgot to get the actual distance of each section for the day before we started. 34 kilometers was scheduled for day 1. But I tell you, I made it to that end line, and I promptly flopped onto the ground and lay there, waiting for the bus. Yeah, that was mistake number 3. I couldn't get back onto my feet to get to that bus. Oh, all the experienced Toastmasters, all the experienced marchers were telling me, you shouldn't be off your feet until at least you get back to the camp. Oh, that's great advice, thanks. A little too late. I had to get my nephew to help me back up so I could get to the bus to get back to camp. I vowed I would never do this march ever again. No way. Day number 2 arrives. Now, I had a much better understanding of how things were going to go for the day. So we all happily ate breakfast together, and then we all again hopped on the bus to go to the next starting point. Mistake number 3? 4? Yeah, it's an hour-long bus ride, and I'd had a few coffees to start off to wake myself up. 100 marchers, 10 potties at the start. Use your imaginations. Now, my last mistake was that I didn't train for hills. Yeah, you guessed it. Within 1 kilometer into the next day, we had a 2-kilometer slant at a 20-degree grade. Oh, yeah, we were a little tired at the top. But we did it. We all persevered, got to the top, and we continued on. We continued on to the end of that day, and I made it 39 kilometers within 15 minutes to spare for that deadline. I was pretty happy. Day number 3, 27 kilometers to go. I was so tired. My feet had blisters, particularly my baby toes. You don't want to know how that feels. And my hips ached. But everybody had an issue of some sort. But everybody had a smile on their faces. We finished that day in a final 5 hours. We crossed that finish line. We cried our hearts out together because we knew that we had just helped thousands of people suffering from kidney diseases. And my 3 days of suffering is nothing compared to what they go through on a daily basis. Very humbling to understand that. And guess what? This September is my 3rd year in a row. With my husband, actually. Let me give you some advice. Let your friends and family talk you into doing something different. Let your friends and family think you are crazy. And definitely let your friends and family know that you are going to have the best time of your life.